What's up, friends? Today we're checking out Ringo, Sheena, and the Millennium Parade's work, the opening of Hell's Paradise. We'll be looking at this song from the perspective of a producer and songwriter, so expect a decent amount of pauses to go over specific elements of the song. I really like the different effects they have on vocals in this song. That lead vocal is heavily distorted. It's also got some like weird like pitch whammy, some like chorus to it, which is creating this really interesting effect. And then the back vocal is this super clean feminine vocal, and I think that's so cool to have that big contrast between the two vocals right here. I like how the horns are responding to the vocal at first, and then eventually they join in and pair in with that vocal. That call and response thing between horns and other instruments is like this classic jazz thing that made its way into rock with guitars, and now we're seeing it back in horns for an anime opening. It's so cool how we come full circle. So if you notice in that first part of the verse, the vocal is sitting on top of basically bass and drums. There is also a rhythm guitar part, but it's fairly sparse. So we've taken away a lot of the elements that we had before. Also, the effects on that vocal have really scaled back. Had a ton of distortion on that opening vocal, and here we still have a little bit of distortion, a little bit of compression, but it's not near as intense as it was seconds before. So we're still like maintaining some parts of that expression of that earlier vocal, but we're not going to the same extent, so we're creating a big differential in energy, dropping away a lot of instrumentations, changing the effects on the vocal to be a lot cleaner. Here, like on the second part of the verse, we have a guitar coming in a little bit stronger, which is adding, that other layer of energy coming in. We also have this really cool like alarm sound. I love how that alarm transitions us into this next section. This part is great. I love this really masculine rapping vocal in this portion of the song, pairing up with those horns. Distortion added again, so we're getting that distortion back that we had earlier, not quite to the same degree as we had at the beginning of the song, but we're getting into it a little bit more. Just a great portion. I really like how their vocals complement each other, and then that space we have at the end of the vocal when we just kind of have like this moment where nothing's playing. So good, really sets up the next portion of the song. Also, I feel like these two vocals do a good job of kind of representing the two vibes of this show, because there's a lot of feminine energy, a lot of masculine energy, and we see that dichotomy used throughout the show, and kind of the separation of those two energies, and then the combination of those two energies as well. Here's that combination. It's like we had the two energies separate, and then we bring them together, which is very similar to kind of what the villains of the show are doing. They kind of combine that masculine, that feminine energy in kind of an unholy way. Really interesting. Yeah, I like the call and response vibe we're getting between those two vocals, where that feminine energy vocal comes in, and then we got that more masculine energy vocal responding with a lot of that distortion on it, make it sound like it's just like suffering, and there's just this really cool desperation in all of the vocals in this section. I think sometimes we underestimate how much one single element can alter the vibe of a section of music, because that outro portion of this opening is so similar to the beginning, that intro. The real difference being the use of hi-hats. And that hi-hat just completely changes the vibe. Makes it sound so much more together, so much more fluid. And not that the beginning was bad, because we wanted that separation, but here we have that energy driving a little bit harder and taking us into that next section in a really cool way. Hope that you've enjoyed my thoughts on Work. Great song for great anime. If you have, I'd really appreciate if you like, comment, share, subscribe. Also, check out my music. Got a song with Shikati out. I'm doing a series on all of the songs nominated for anime awards this year. So I've still got one left. So if you want to check that out, make sure to subscribe so you can be notified when that comes out. Thanks so much. Catch you on the flip.
光の中で流れる旅でしょう上がろうとしてる